Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Crypto. My name's Don. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching today's video. If you are watching it live, good morning. I hope you're all doing well. You've had your coffee or you have a coffee ready to go and get through today's episode. Once again, I have a jam-packed episode for you today. So yeah, sit back, relax, and let's get on with the show. So first things first, as we always like to do, is I'm going to start with some prices to kind of bring you up to speed with what's going on in the top 10 market. So let me just bring that up on your screen now. You can see Bitcoin currently sitting at $37,475, up 4.2% the past 24 hours. We then have Ethereum currently sitting at $2,070, BNB $252, XRP at 64 cents. We then have Solana at $65. We then have Cardano at 39 cents. And Dogecoin at 0.08. So a good mixed bag today. Most things are up quite significantly, including Bitcoin and including the altcoins. More altcoins than anything. And yeah, pretty interesting to see. Is it time for altcoins to finally take off? Well, let's get into that plus more in today's video. So yeah, like I said, please make sure you have, first of all, subscribed. That's obvious, but also you are ready to kind of crack on and get through some of this news. So the first thing is coming from PonX, because apparently there was a hack. Though this hasn't been, I would say, as big of a kind of news deal as what some people would have thought it would have been. And I think that's because PonX, I mean, don't know about you, but I don't use PonX. I did use it at one point for a certain coin, but other than that, I don't often use it. I'm interested, do you use PonX or have you in the past? But anyway, apparently there was a $100 million hack. I think it was actually more than that. But yeah, anyway, the good news is PonX crypto exchange resumes withdrawals after the $100 million hack. So, Justin Sun's cryptocurrency exchange PonX is preparing to resume operations after suffering a major hack in November, according to an official announcement on November 15th. In a statement, the company said that the platform has mostly completed the restoration efforts after the $100 million hack. This is a quote. The platform is now operating smoothly, PonX said in its most recent update on the resumption and deposit of the withdrawal services. The exchange has enlisted a top-tier security auditing firm to enhance the security of funds on PonX and is preparing to resume withdrawals soon. So, it's not ideal, obviously, when things get hacked. However, the fact that it's been done, they're now looking to up their security. I guess that's a good thing, but anyway. Again, to quote here then, currently they are in the final stages of security audit and verification processes for PonX. Upon completion of the audit, we will promptly resume deposit and withdrawal services on our platform. The firm added that the evaluation process is still ongoing and it's estimated to take several more days. So, yes, it's not an ideal thing when an exchange gets hacked, but it sounds strange, but it is a good thing because it then means that they're forced to up their security. Now, I'm pretty sure they would rather get hacked in a market like this rather than a market that we're going to see hopefully in the next 12 months. So, look, there's some pros, there's some cons of hacks, and like I said, I've never really used PonX that much. I used it at one point for one token, and I don't even think I still hold that token actually. But yeah, haven't used it much. Don't plan on using it. I'm quite comfortable with the exchanges that I use. If you're interested to know what exchanges I use, by the way, there is links below to those exchanges where you can get an account signed up. It's a kind of verifiable link. You know it's legit. Anyway, like I said, there's links below if you are looking to find out what exchanges I use. But yeah, PonX, it's not on the radar, but they have suffered, unfortunate, a hack, but they are doing their best to kind of get things back in order and let users withdraw funds. So, just another day in crypto. Now, the next piece of news is a little bit about AI. Now, I mentioned this on yesterday's stream that I'm going to bring in every so often, bring a little bit of AI information to the videos. And the reason for that is just because, well, AI is a big part, will play a big part in all of our futures, especially with Web3, whether we like it or not. And yeah, I'm a bit of a fan of AI. So yeah, quickly just run through this update then. So YouTube says that creators must disclose Gen AI use or face suspension. Now, YouTube released this new community guideline and kind of relating to the disclosure of artificial intelligence used in content. So the platform published a blog on November 14th saying that the updates will have creators on its platform inform the viewers if the content that's shown is being synthetic. We'll require creators to disclose when they've created altered or synthetic content that is realistic, including using AI tools. So, why is this a big deal? Well, that's because no one seems to really know, well, unless you really follow along with the AI trend, you don't know if it's AI or if it's genuine or if someone's at home editing it, putting the video together. Normally you can tell because it's like a robot type voice, but sometimes you can't, and people don't like that. So, an example given in the update was AI generated video that realistically deposits something that neither happened or the content of a person saying or doing something they didn't do. Now, the information will be displayed for viewers in two ways. According to YouTube, with the first being a new label added to the description panel, and if content is about sensitive topics, a more predominant label to the video player. So, yeah, it's like, again, it's kind of like the last news thing I was saying there, where there's some pros, some cons, there's some good, there's some bad to this. The good part is, if you're getting legit like information and it's not made up and it's not artificially made, it's not a fake graphic, it's not a fake voice, whatever it may be. You might think that it's my voice, for example. Imagine there was a AI version of Coffee and Crypto, but it wasn't actually me. Well, you would want to know if it was actually me you were listening to or some random AI generator. So there's an example. So that's a good thing. But then the other, I guess, downside of it is this is a way for YouTube to force more control. So they already have huge control, and that's part of their platform. But as it's kind of coming in here, if there's things coming out from conflicts or political movements or sensitive subjects, then they will control the videos that can go out. I mean, they already have a lot of control, it's not a new thing, but if it's AI generated, then obviously it's going to flag even more. But yeah, like I said, it's a pro and it's a con, because we know it's not fake, it's not false, it's not artificial. However, there may then be more control on what gets put out on the platform. So yeah, the good, the bad, the ugly, you have to weigh up all options when it comes to progression. And it's much the same as what I say when it comes to regulation in crypto. It's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because of the control aspect. But that is just the future development of this space. It is just going to start leading into that. And yeah, we have to make do with what we have. Just enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, as Russ would say. The journey is everything. And yeah, whether you love it or you hate it, it's part of the journey. So anyway, moving back on to some news, and it's basically Solana news, and that's what the title and the thumbnail of today's video is regarding. Is it time for Solana to take over? Because Solana has been, first of all, jumped 20% yesterday. But it's been in the news recently, of course. I covered this massively with Swissborg. I'm going to jump into that in a little bit more detail in a sec. But Solana has been making waves recently. It's up well over 100% in the past month. And it looks like it's continuing to climb. And it really could be the big bull run for Solana. I mean, don't get me wrong, it had a massive bull run in 2021. However, I do strongly believe that the upcoming bull run that we're kind of processing into now will be absolutely massive for Solana. Now, let me read this article give you a bit more context on that. So Solana jumps 20% as Cathie Wood loads its speed and cost over Ethereum. So that's kind of the whole point of it. It's like the Ethereum killer, as they like to call it. I don't think it's an Ethereum killer, but it does do a very similar job, and it has got kind of, well, speedier ways of doing very, very similar things. So Solana has reached new yearly highs, gaining more than 17% the day after ARK Invest CEO Cathie Wood lauded the network for its efficiency and cost effectiveness. Now, on a CNBC interview, Wood, i.e. Cathie Wood, described the Solana network as a major infrastructure player in the wider blockchain ecosystem, and added that it had been doing a really good job in recent market conditions. Now, Wood also praised the Solana network for being faster and more efficient than Ethereum's network. So, Ethereum maxis, I'm sorry, but it is slightly faster. Anyway, Ether was faster and cheaper than Bitcoin in the day. That's how we got Ethereum. I mean, remember, Ethereum is an alternative coin to Bitcoin, so it's an altcoin. It's the largest altcoin by market cap. It was created to, well, I guess, beat Bitcoin. The founder, the man behind it all, Vitalik, he was a dev on Bitcoin's network. He worked for the Bitcoin network before jumping ship and creating Ethereum. So there you go. I bet you didn't know that. So yes, Ethereum in its day, and it still is to this day, the king of what it's doing, the ERC20, but Solana has been, making waves. It's cheaper, faster, more effective, and people are starting to notice that more and more. So yeah, anyway, Solana is even faster and cost effective than Ether, just to continue on what Cathie Wood has said there. So we also spoke of the Ethereum and Solana as important additions in the blockchain ecosystem, describing them as crucial infrastructure layers capable of more real-world applications than Bitcoin. And, well, that's a little bit obvious because Bitcoin was never really meant to be that. And, Ethereum and Solana, for example, doing a similar job, cheaper, faster, more effective than Bitcoin, and then also Solana being a little bit better than Ethereum. But yeah, Ethereum technically still is the GOAT at the moment, but let's see what happens in the upcoming bull run. Now, while the broader crypto market is in an uptrend, Solana's gains have significantly outpaced those of other major cryptos, gaining more than 197% in the last month. Meanwhile, Bitcoin and Ethereum are up about 32% and 28% respectively within that same 1 month period. So I think it's still so funny. I've been in crypto for 7 years now, but I do think it's still funny when we talk about, it's only up 32% in a month. It's only up 28%. It's only up 197% in a month. It's crazy to think you compare that to anything, literally any other asset class. Those gains just do not happen. I don't care who you are, what property you've sold, or what you've done. You're not getting those gains in that space of time. Facts. Anyway, I won't go off on a rant regarding how much better crypto is for gains than anything else. But anyway, Solana, like I said, it is a focal point. It's big, it's bad, and by bad I mean good. You know that term when you say, that's bad, well, you mean good. Well, it's big, it's bad, i.e. good. It's quick, it's cheap, and it's coming after Ethereum day by day. Now, do you hold any of Solana? That's my next question. Didn't really lay into that very well, but do you hold any Solana? I'm interested to know. If you do, of course, drop me a comment below. Let me know why you hold Solana. Let me know how long you've held Solana. Just give me some details. Drop me some comments about Solana. Let's get some hype in the chat regarding Solana. Now, like I said, we did speak about Solana quite recently because they integrated with Swissborg, and I'm going to just kind of jump into an article, not an article that I covered before, but it's an article kind of explaining a little bit of the integration between Swissborg and Solana because they've launched the world's first meta exchange. So I'm going to go over a few points here for anyone that may have missed it in the past because this is humongous, and it's really important that you, well, first of all, know what's actually going on because I don't know about you, but I use Swissborg as an exchange, and I like to know what's going on with that exchange. And Solana, I invest in Solana, so it only makes sense for me to care about this information. So, At the start of this month, Swissborg announced the integration of Solana with its Smart Engine product to create an exchange aggregator which combines foreign exchange, centralized exchange, and decentralized exchange in a single product that they refer to as the world's first meta exchange, or MEX. So you've got your FX, your SEX, and your DEX. So 3 different types of markets and exchanges, whatever it may be, all under the one house as Swissborg. In addition to the top FX and CEXs, the Swissborg Smart Engine is now operating with the leading Solana DEX, which is called Orca, and recently launched Phoenix. Now, Swissborg app allows users to execute C trades from up to 16 fiat currencies directly to 60 plus cryptos in a single tap, benefiting from optimal rates, liquidity, minimal slippage, and it offers the world's first route from traditional finance to decentralized finance or decentralized crypto assets in such a seamless manner. So again, another reason why I like Swissborg so much is because they're doing things like this. Who else is doing it? Well, factually, no one. Need I say more? Now, Swissborg will also provide a fair and transparent listing opportunity for any Solana-based project on the recently integrated DEXs. So as long as they pass their stringent due diligence process, with centralized exchanges often asking for large sums of money and often known as a peak or opaque listing tactic, it is Swissborg's aim to set a new standard for token listings and usher in a fairer future for finance. Now, again, I mentioned this, I think it was on yesterday's stream, or maybe it was Monday's video. Go back and watch them. Anyway, if you haven't watched Monday's or Wednesday's videos, go watch them. You should be watching the whole back catalogue. You should be watching every single episode of Coffee and Crypto. In fact, on that note, subscribe to the channel, like this video, drop me a comment. Come on, it's pre-bull season. It's time to get excited again about crypto, if you've been holding it for a while. Anyway, sorry, went off on one there. But Swissborg, the reason I believe in them so much is because they continue to do things like this, what no one else is doing, factually. So it just makes sense for me as a Swissborg user to really get excited about this type of news, a Solana investor to get excited about this type of news. So yeah, I've covered bits of this before, so hopefully that was not the first time that you've heard of the MEX or the super exchange that Swissborg and Solana have created. But yeah, it's just another update that I wanted to bring you or reiterate to you regarding Solana, because that's not the reason why Solana is running in price. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's got a small part to play, but Swissborg is relatively small in the world of exchanges, so I can't imagine it's having a huge impact yet. But Swissborg are on the way to the top. Trust me when I say that. But yeah, anyway, that's the kind of Solana news. That's the Swissborg and Solana news. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully it brings you up to speed with what's actually going on with Solana and why people are so bullish on it. Now, another kind of last part on Swissborg before I move on. Did you know that the Swissborg Alpha Vault, just for promising projects that need funding but want to avoid going down the VC route? So this is something that I've mentioned so many times in our members of CC Pro. Again, there's a link below if you haven't joined CC Pro yet. But the part of Swissborg Alpha is that they give you the opportunity to get involved in seed rounds where no one else will do that. It's usually venture capitalists, which none of you are, that get access to these. So yeah, things like Swissborg Alpha are also another benefit of that exchange. Anyway, there's a link below for the exchanges that I use. Go click and read more about those exchanges, and of course get signed up if you want to, but please do your own research. Make sure you're comfortable and you understand that you will probably lose all of your money in crypto. It's a dangerous place unless you know what you're doing. But yeah, always do your own research. Yada, yada, yada. All that good stuff. Go learn about crypto before you actually invest. But there is links below if you do want to find out any more. So, the SEC. We haven't spoken about the SEC for some time. Let me bring up this next article for you to cover. Now, the SEC delays a decision on the Hashdex's spot Bitcoin ETF conversion. Oh, well, that's funny, isn't it? So, the SEC has announced a delay in its decision-making process on Hashdex's application to convert its existing Bitcoin futures ETF into a spot product. Now, the Hashdex, the company, so it's a prominent fund manager for anyone that didn't know, applied in September to transform its ETF listed on the New York Stock Exchange into a spot exchange traded fund. No, this move is noteworthy because Hashdex's proposal involves a unique approach to managing the ETF's assets. The fund manager to hold a diverse mix of assets, including Bitcoin futures contracts, spot Bitcoin, and cash. This strategy is designed to mitigate the risks associated with the market manipulation and to enhance the ETF's stability. So, a little bit different than normal, but will it even get approved? Well, let's wait and see. Well, we have no choice. We have to wait and see. In response to Hashdex's application, then, the SEC issued a filing on November 15th explaining its decision to extend the review period by an additional 45 days. I feel like I told you so. I told you this for months. This is going to happen. Now, the agency cited the need for more time to thoroughly assess the proposed rule change and address issues raised during the elevation process. Now, with ETFs, as we know, they will, in my opinion, be delayed until January, February, March, basically sometime in quarter one. That will allow the market to, just find its feet over the next few months, allow the big institutions to buy more if that's what they're planning to do, which they are doing in the background. Then the ETFs will be approved or denied potentially in quarter one, and that's when we'll start to see some sort of crazy kind of rally. Well, at least the narrative tied to the crazy rally, which will be ETFs. So anyway, yet again, another delay in the decision from the SEC on ETFs. So we're not phased by this anymore. We're riding the waves. We're here for the market. We're here for the technicals. We care about the charts. Let the news, find what the charts are doing. Anyway, the last part I wanted to discuss here was MicroStrategy. So I spoke about MicroStrategy quite a lot, but less than 1 year ago, MicroStrategy was down 50% on its Bitcoin holdings. Today, they are up 25%. Now, that might not seem like a lot of money, up 25%. Oh, that's cute. Like, we do that daily. But this might not feel like it says, might not feel like a massive ROI, so return on investment. But don't forget, MicroStrategy is operating at scale. So, they control over 158,000 Bitcoin. So it's 25% return. So that measly little tiny cute 25% means that they're actually up over $1 billion in profit. Not so cute now, is it? Now, with Michael Saylor then, so it says here, but of course that's not enough for Michael Saylor. So what is he doing right as Bitcoin is pumping? He is dollar cost averaging more coins into the MicroStrategy's coffers. Now, you have to admit, the man is consistent. So here you go. So it says here, I think there's an investing lesson here. 1, make bold bets. 2, give them time to play out. 3, be consistent about your execution. So yeah, pretty standard stuff, but again, pretty powerful because as long as you stick to that and you are consistent, consistency is key. Patience pays, as the famous art piece, which is to my right, which you can't see, but patience pays. And it's not something that we speak about lightly. It's super, super important, especially in the game of crypto. And Mr. Michael Saylor knows that all too well. As much as people were giving him heat before because he was down 50%, Bitcoin is rubbish, it's going to zero, blah, 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 blah. All the usual just garbage that comes out. Well, now he's only up 25%, but actually he's up $1 billion in profit. So he could just take that money out and already he's made $1 billion for nothing, essentially. Well, not nothing, but you get the point. Anyway, here's the chart here of his buys. So the kind of turquoise green colour is all the buys that he has made. And then, today's price, of course, is what you can see. Now, you'll notice that, hang on a minute, some of these buys are like higher than others and whatever it may be. Some are lower than others. Well, that's called dollar cost averaging. So if you don't know about dollar cost averaging, go learn about it or come on one of our crypto fast track courses, of course, subtle plug. But yeah, dollar cost averaging is super, super important, and this graphic actually proves that point quite well without even meaning it. But yeah, anyway, like I said, he's up 25%, cute little number, but it also means that in dollar value, they're up $1 billion. So yeah, not too bad for a play over a year or two, to say the least. Anyway, that's all for today's video. As I said, that was the last part I wanted to discuss. If you have enjoyed today's video, please drop me a like, drop me some comments. I have asked a few questions throughout today's video, so drop me the comments below and let me know your thoughts, your feelings, and yeah, let's chat about Solana. That's all for me. I will see you all on the next episode of Coffee and Crypto. My name's Don. I hope you all have had a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, whatever time it is you're watching this. But yeah, I will speak to you all and see you all very, very soon.